Guys, this will be a quick episode. We just wanted to say we're almost back. We've been a little bit busy
Missed
with
you
life.
guys, or at least me. I missed you guys. I certainly missed you guys.
Yeah, they're on the Discord. And if you're not, why aren't you on the Discord? If you're not on the
Yeah.
Discord, you got to get in Discord. We just posted a Solar Edge Part 2 video. This one is sort of epic. We do some points and everything like that. We go back to the well to give out some points. And
Which
in
they
this,
earned it. Like honestly, I don't think we intended on doing that, but it was actually a pretty good call. Like
you know what? I like what we learned about Solar Edge. So anyone that hasn't seen it, just click there, go check it out. Obviously, join the
yeah.
Patreon. There's a bunch of little perks that you have, and just to support us so we can keep growing the channel. Please like and subscribe. Obviously, hit the bell, get notifications that we're showing a video, and we don't show that often, so we won't bother you that often. That's one
Right.
thing. And obviously, if you like what we're doing, sign up for Patreon. It's $5 to start. This is just if you support us and you want some extra perks. $10 for if you're a super fan, and $20 if you want us to get gas, as we said in the last one. That'll get us 1 gallon of gas, and we get to go see our mothers. There's been a lot of news, and we'll just talk sort of free willingly about it. But Elon has been in some poo-poo. What's he doing? Is he sleeping around with Sergey Brin's wife?
I really feel like the timing of these things is so suspicious. You know, like they just had a great earnings call. I really believe that we're now just seeing the full campaign to like stop Elon Musk as part of like propping up the legacy auto. I'm not saying that he's an angel, but I'm saying the timing of these things just seems so coincidental that none of this stuff came out when Tesla was selling 5,000 cars a year. You know what I mean? So I'm always really skeptical about this, especially when a lot of it's in mainstream media or mainstream finance media. I'm a little skeptical about it because there's been a lot of other
Hold on.
things.
This wasn't just any publication. It was the Wall Street Journal
You know,
front page news.
okay, and so because it's Wall Street Journal, that means that it's say more credible than something else. I mean,
Yes.
look at
And the Inquirer, yes.
when I'm not saying it's the Inquirer. My point is, I think the timing of it is too coincidental for me to just necessarily take it at face value. It's like the SpaceX thing, right? Like the employee that came out and accused him through another person of something that maybe happened on a plane. Maybe I'm just really skeptical of any of this. I'm not saying that he's an angel, but I'm just saying that I do think that there are forces at play that are much bigger than caring about whether Elon Musk is sleeping around or not, you know?
Well, first of all, I think he is sleeping around. I'm not saying it's Sergey Brin's wife, but that guy is a player. We know that. Number two, I don't care if he sleeps with everybody as long as he sells these freaking cars. That's all I care about is the stock
the
and
most-
Tesla stock going up. I don't care about how many people he actually and I'll bleep that
Right.
out. But that's his choice. If he wants to bang every single married woman in the world, as long as it's not my married woman,
Right.
he can do it.
But you see the point. The point of it is like now they're trying to make some sort of a moral case. They're trying to make a moral case, or they're trying to cancel Elon Musk. This is a tactic that's just being used, and it's like the media itself is being weaponized. And so I think what they're trying to do is to put out a narrative out there that Elon Musk is this guy who's untrustworthy. If we can't trust him with people's wives, can we trust anything he says with respect to the cars? I mean, every day I'm seeing something on the news about how Elon Musk is wrong, how Tesla is failing, how there's no demand, how it's just issue after issue after issue after issue. This to me is just a sign that we should be buying more of the stock now, because there becomes a point where their numbers are so fantastic that nobody cares about it anymore. And that's when the money will start piling in. So this is, again, just keeping the stock artificially low. But it's annoying more than anything. It's just annoying to see how transparent.
Well, first of all, the stock has been on a tear, so I don't think this worked to keep anything low. It's literally hit at the bottom of 650. It hit the bottom of 650 and then just shot back up to over 800. I wouldn't say,
considering where we were at 1200.
hold on, forget about where we were. We were in a hyper bubble that exploded, and everybody got hurt. Okay, Google got hurt, Amazon got hurt, Tesla should also get hurt. So I don't think Tesla has suffered any sort of consequences from any massive consequences that the other companies really didn't suffer as well. And
on the contrary, I think it's been holding up really well.
exactly,
The stock has been holding up really well considering the bloodbath that it's been. I mean, it's been one of the only positions that's still in the green in my
I'm still waiting for 500. I still got my buy-in for 500. A lot of shares.
And that could happen. I believe that that's part of what this is to just keep the stock down. It's to keep the stock price down. I mean, we've seen it before where companies have really great earnings and then the stock will tank the next day. So that's not like Tesla's immune to any of that. But I feel like this is a concerted effort by a group of special interests, right, who have an interest in keeping Tesla stock down, whether it's working with short sellers or working with legacy auto. I think there's a lot of people that are not happy with Tesla performing as well as they are, and I think as what the totality of the company really is becoming clear to people. It's not just a car company; it's an energy company, batteries. When the lead that they have is becoming clear how far ahead they are of everybody, I think it's worrying a lot of people. They're endangering a lot of industries right now. I think players in those industries are pulling whatever levers they can to, if not destroy Tesla stock, but at least keep it down.
I see no problem with that, by the way, even if they are. I don't think they are, first of all. I think this is a story that the Wall Street Journal got something and they wanted to sell some newspapers on Saturday because it's a good story and people will read it and buy the newspaper. I think it's as simple as that. I don't think it's a short seller conspiracy. The stock is doing incredibly well, along with Enphase. We just covered that today, by the way. So guys, check out the live stream we did. I'm going to include a link. But these two companies, Enphase and Tesla, they're totally winning in the good way, of course, that you can win. And they're not being held down. I don't think that's happening at all. I think everybody knows where Tesla is. The only people arguing against it, there is like CNBC type of mainstream media, which you're right. I don't think it's this Wall Street Journal article. I think they're just trying to sell some newspapers. But I do want to make a point that Elon Musk himself, obviously, he puts himself in a lot of situations that doesn't necessarily help the public image of Tesla. And the second problem that I do find a problem now, because look, they're a $1 trillion company still, or no, they're 500 billion,
no,
600 billion.
No, they're like 600-700 billion now.
Okay, so well, they're still 700 billion dollar company. The guy has no advertising firm to answer any requests from media at all, which is silly at this point. I'm not saying hire a whole staff and waste all this money on showing ads on CNBC, but I think part of the problem of being a large company is you do have to play some sort of a game. The big boys are playing the game, whether you like it or not. Me and you play this game all the time.
What's the game? What is the game?
The game is,
what is the name? The game.
I'll tell you the game. The game is ad dollars will go to these media players that don't get any money from Tesla, and will have more incentive than not to just print any sort of nonsense about Elon and Tesla, because now Tesla is buying ad buys on their station. And let's face it, GM and all these other players are doing that. Besides image and advertising, it also keeps those guys under the radar and not being totally screwed each time some sort of bad thing happens with GM. You don't hear a lot of bad news about GM messing up all the time. Even the Bolt issue, which was a massive issue, do regular people know about that as much as they know of one Tesla crash?
But this is what I think the problem is. The problem is that the name of the game is to control the narrative. Control the information that is out there, both good and bad, about specific companies, and that will essentially trick investors into buying or selling certain positions. That I feel that's market manipulation.
Well, that's always the game. I think that's always the game with Wall Street.
Yes, and that's the problem. This is what I'm saying is the problem. The problem is,
are we going to try to fight that now?
I'm not saying we try to fight it, but what I'm saying is, if you're a smart investor, it adds another layer of like BS that you have to push through in order to figure out the truth. Because in a sense, at the end of the day, you only have one life and you only have one pool of cash. And if you're looking to invest in markets, you want to be informed. And if you're trying to be informed and using these services, whether it's whether it's the Wall Street Journal online or whether it's CNBC, you're going to these places hoping and expecting them to be trusted news sources that are giving you the information straight so you can make your own decision. That's not the world we live in anymore. News is not news anymore. Even finance news isn't news anymore. It's all pushing a narrative. And so, no, I think there's a fundamental conflict of interest.
For Mary Barra to come out and say that she's leading and she's taking over Tesla in 4 years, by the way.
2025, she said.
Tesla's making 1 million cars now. You were supposed to beat them in 2025. But the narrative that's spun, because GM is paying a lot of bills for CNBC and other media places, the narrative that's spun is that GM is going to win. Eventually, they're going to take over. This is for investors who don't know anything and who watch these channels, obviously. Me and you know better. We follow it very intricately. We look at everything, every little detail, and we analyze it and we study it. And we have people on this Discord who are analyzing and study it. And we talk about it all day. Most people just go with their lives and they look at the news, obviously, because the news is paid for. This is not new information. This has been happening for over a decade, at least that I know of. So when I started paying attention for it, and it must have been happening for at least 20, 30 years like this in terms of like the news.
Not on this level.
The
Not on
news
this
is
level.
bought, absolutely. We were younger and we weren't paying attention in the same way. Money buys you the message that you want to tell. And back to my point, Tesla is not paying for any message because they think the message is free. That's all great and dandy, but welcome to the real world. You should, at some point, when you're a trillion-dollar company, start paying a little bit for the message to get out to the idiots who don't want to actually do any research.
I see, but I disagree with you. What you're saying is the game. It's not going to change, so you got to just start throwing money at it. But here's the point: it doesn't matter how much money Tesla throws at it. It doesn't matter. They're not going to get the coverage. So it doesn't matter how much money.
They're already getting a lot of coverage. I'm saying they will get coverage.
They're getting negative coverage. My point is, what you're acting like that the problem is that Tesla's not playing the game, and what I'm saying is that the game shouldn't be that. Because what you're saying is like, okay, so
childish response. We know the game.
No, that's not. No, it's not a childish response. That's the accurate response in order for us to fix this. People should be enraged at that, and that should be seen as the problem. The problem is that you guys are supposed to be a news source that's reporting objective news that we're supposed to be able to use to invest our money. And you're spinning a narrative. You're pushing a certain narrative to get people to think a certain way and invest a certain way. That is market manipulation. And the fact that we don't talk about that, or we see it as like, oh, it's not a big deal, or like we just brush that under, we accept it, is the problem. And the fact that we've accepted it is the reason why it's
well, hold on. I do agree with you that it's a problem, but I'm an investor and I'm thinking about what can I do in that respect? Because I'm not going to go petition. I'm not going to Washington, D.C., as I've said millions of times.
No, and I'm not suggesting
I'm not doing any of that. I need to invest my dollars into something that I believe will do better, and Tesla is the thing, but Elon has to help and play the game a little bit. And I get he's won all this time by not playing the game as much, but at some point you do have to play the game a bit. And you know he is, first of all.
There's no amount of money. Listen, there's no amount of money that Tesla can put into some sort of a PR or ad campaign. There's none of it. It's like political contributions. They spend a lot of money putting out essentially propaganda for themselves, and then the other side puts out counter propaganda. And it's essentially whoever had the biggest reach with their propaganda is what wins. Nothing that Tesla can do, nothing that Elon can do. He's already like one of the most popular people on Twitter. He's still actively trying to buy Twitter. And even when he first announced it, I felt like this is what it was about. It was about giving him a platform that he owns, that he can at least control some of this. And I feel that that would be a better move than trying to buy ads on CNBC. You know?
Well, I don't want to go into the whole Twitter rabbit hole, but I think we both got our points across. First of all, if you just asked me, do I agree blanket wise with what you said? Of course I do. I'm a rational human being. You're saying some beautiful things. But on the other end, I'm a pragmatic human being, and that's not the way it works. So I want Elon to play the game as well a bit. But go ahead, bring it to the audience. What do you guys think?
This is a good place to throw it out there to the public and say, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Should Elon Musk be playing the game within the game?
So, guys, we're going to throw it out to you because obviously me and Carlos have two strong opinions, sort of agreeing but disagreeing on how to implement this. And we want to know what you think, whether Elon Musk should maybe advertise a little bit, or that's not the problem and we should go fight the power. We just wanted to do a quick one. We started off with Elon sleeping around, being a philanderer, and we ended up in a total political nightmare here. So you tell us what you think about this, whether Carlos is right. Go ahead, give us some points. Put it in the down.
Give us some points, hit like, subscribe, join the Discord, and let's have this conversation on the Discord because I think it actually makes me angry.
Obviously, if you like what we're doing, please sign up for Patreon. It's $5 a start. This is just if you support us and you want some extra perks. $10 for if you're a super fan, and $20 if you want us to get gas, as we said in the last one. That'll get us 1 gallon of gas. All right, peace out.